Hi everybody, it's Christina and thank you for joining me. So today we're going to make 3 different styles of flowers. So we're going to make these and this and this, and these are just some of the other colours that you can do. Now for these flowers you're going to need some Hessian or Jute twine as it's sometimes called. It's also known as burlap. Now you can buy this in different widths and different lengths. This is in metre form and I've got 2 different colours, and these are just some of the different widths that you can get. You can also get this in different widths, in different colours, and this is the thick stuff. So for the first flower I'm going to need some twine, and I'm going to need about 40 centimetres of this. So we'll cut this down and we'll have 3 lengths. Now once you've got your 3 lengths you're going to tape these very lightly to your desktop. Sellotape. I'm just going to put them all down nice and neatly alongside each other and glue those to the desk. And just to make sure that they don't come unravelled, we'll add another layer. Now once you've got those down, separate your strands out and you're going to take this one over the centre one, and then you're going to bring that one over the centre one. Now this then ends up outside, and you're going to completely fill this with plaits all the way down the twine. Now once you get to the end of your plait you're going to keep those 3 pieces all together, and again you're going to secure them with some glue. So we'll just wrap a little bit of sellotape around there, and that's just to keep those fastened together so that your plaiting does not unravel. And we'll take this piece up and we'll just wrap that with the rest of the sellotape. So to complete this now I've just cut myself a little circle of some matching card, and I'm going to trim this down just up to the tape, and then we'll put a spot of glue in the centre. Now to the middle of that we'll just add our twine, and then we'll start to turn this around so it's like a wheel, and then every so often you'll need to add some glue just to secure that down to the card. So once you've completed that and you've glued it on the back so that it doesn't come undone, you can add into that centre any embellishment that you would like. So we've got all these different ones here, so we can try and see which looks best. And these are just off an old bracelet, or we can just simply add a pearl, and I think that's what we'll do. These are self-adhesive flat back pearls, and we'll just pop that pearl into the middle there, and that's one of our flowers completed. Now for the next style of ribbon I'm bringing you in really close so that you can see exactly what I'm doing, and you want a good long piece of your jute cord. So whether you use this colour or you use the cream coloured one, it doesn't make a lot of difference. You'll just have a different coloured flower. So we're going to take the top off this cylindrical object, and this is just a little spray bottle, and we're going to wrap this around the top, and then we'll put the top back on so that can't move. Now I'm going to bring this down to the bottom, and I'm just going to add a little spot of glue there just to hold this in place. So that's just going to hold that in place, and then we can bring this back up the other side, and now we can start to wrap this around the cylinder. So you're going to make sure that it doesn't overlap, you're going to keep it nice and neat and tidy, and you're going round for as many times as you want. The more you wrap it round, the tighter your flower will be. And then I'm going to push it down so it all meets up with the other portion. and we'll do it again. And we'll keep on pushing it down so that it all gathers at the bottom. And I'm going to do this for as big as I want the flower to be. Now it won't be very big because this is not a wide object. If you were to use something wider, it would be a different size. But this will just make it nice and fluffy. So again, I'm going round again. I'm pushing it down and keeping it all straight. And then when I think I've got enough there, I'm going to tie it off. Now to tie it off, cut yourself a long strip and just loosen the bottom loop. Now push your string through that and then through this, and that will just tie that in a knot for you. So once you have that tied in a knot, turn your cylinder round and cut this piece off. So that's where it was glued, so we're just going to cut this off and we're going to loosen that bottom loop a little bit, and we're going to tie this off in the same way we've just done the other piece. Now when you pull that tight, that is a knot that won't let all the rest of it unravel. So there's the piece now that was glued in place, and we need that to come down to meet the other piece that's on, and this is the bit that we looped underneath all this. So now we can tie this together, not in a knot, just fasten it together, and now we can slide this off the cylinder. Now once you've slid it off, you're going to tie the two ends together in a knot so that they can't come undone. And you can tidy up the edges, and now you can spread your flower around that central knot, and the more loops you wrap round it, the fluffier your flower will be. And then of course you can tidy up the other end by tying a knot. It's just so that it doesn't unravel. And then you can snip those off. And there's your little flower. Spread it around, and into the centre of that you can add your embellishment, and that will glue that in place wherever you want it. Now for this next flower you're going to need about 6 inches of Hessian. If you make it bigger, if you add more length to this, you'll make your flower bigger, and obviously if you cut less length to this, you'll make your flower smaller. So that's about 6 inches. You need the 2 selvaged edges on there, leaving just as they are, but you're going to pull some of this off the end, and that will just release some of these end pieces that you can now start to pull out. So just one at a time, you're going to pull them through the material like this, and you're going to work your way down it until you get enough strands through that you're happy with. Now as I said, don't touch these edges because they're going to be glued, so just keep pulling until you have enough through that you're happy with. So once you have enough pieces pulled through and you've got your salvaged edges there, you're just going to add some glue along there and glue these two sides together. Now if you're working with hot glue, be very, very careful. It gets very hot. So just glue those together and then we'll come on to the next stage. So once you have to this stage, you're just going to trim off these end pieces very neatly. And then again with hot glue, you're just going to roll these pieces in, and every so often you're going to add a spot of glue. And you're going to keep on rolling, not tightly, don't roll it very tight. Just roll it until you get to the end, and then just make sure that that end is well fastened down. And then once you've done that, you can then spread it out so that you have the centre there and you have the flower opened around the centre. Now on one of mine I've added some glitter, but it didn't look right, so I'm not going to do it again. You can add into the centre of your flowers now exactly whatever you would like, and that's the same flower done a little bit tighter with some of the white Hessian. So there are some of the flowers that we've made, and this is the last one that I've just done. This gives you some idea of what they will look like on cards, but for this one we're going to add it to a 5x7 card. So that's the base, that's the top panel, and I've added some washi tape to the front of that, some text and some floral ones. I'm going to add leaves of 2 different colours, and I'm going to pop the flower in the middle. So we'll move it just up a little bit, and then down here we're going to have "Thank you for being you," and that's the sentiment that will go at the bottom of the card. So to complete my card, I've added pearls in each of the corners, and that's now ready to send. But as I said to you before, because of the depth of the flower, you will need to add that card to a box. So there's the flowers made. This is just some idea of how they will look on cards, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please give me the thumbs up and leave me a comment. And why not subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell, then you'll always be aware when I add a new video. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.